Hey everybody, it's Matt here from pianoblog.com. We're still moving into the school, but I wanted to turn the camera on really fast and make a video about a certain movement pattern that you might find helpful depending on where you're at the piano. And that is the movement of playing from 3 to 5 to 4. A lot of people have trouble with this because it utilizes the 5th finger going to the 4th finger, which for a lot of people, especially if you have smaller hands, might feel extremely weak. So some of you have heard me kind of practicing through this Bach-Busoni transcription that starts with that. Has a lot of that. And there's also a really excellent set of Czerny studies called these short studies. It's Opus 821. That starts with a similar motion. So you get that 3-5-4. Now, I'm going to show you a movement pattern that I find really helpful in playing this that makes me feel like I have a lot more strength in my 4th finger. And it's quite simple once you've practiced some of the more basic movement patterns, but it does involve a couple different movements. So what you do is you're starting here on 3. And the way I would think about this, I have a good alignment here, like we've talked about, going through the 3rd finger, through the forearm. And there's a rotation into the 5th finger, like this. So 3 rotating to 5. And then a rotation back to 4. And you can, depending on the context, think of that with a little bit of kick up in the wrist. So what that does is it gives you quite a lot of force going into the 4th finger, as opposed to what a lot of people naturally do, which is to play from 3 and then to feel locked in 5, and you can't, it's pretty tough to raise the 4th finger here, and then to try and just activate from the knuckle joint to the 4th finger. Now, if you're doing it a small section, you might be able to get away with it, but if you're playing, things like this, where you're moving quickly, and you need that force in the 4th finger, it's really helpful to practice that rotation with a little bit of kick into the 4th finger. So if you start looking for this, you'll see something like this, this exact pattern or something similar to it all over the place, and you'll find it helpful to kind of just be aware that instead of locking the 4th finger here, you can actually rotate and maybe kick the wrist up a little bit into the 4th finger. So that's just a very short little technique video, but I think that you'll find it helpful when you're practicing applying these movement patterns. Remember that you don't have to apply them quickly. You can apply them with pauses. You can pause, think about where you're going, rotate, think about where you're going, until that sort of becomes natural for you. And if you've practiced the wrong way, you always want to make sure that you go back, take your time, use pause practice like we've talked about to ingrain this into your kind of movement habits, into your muscle memory. If you like this content, please make sure to subscribe. You can click subscribe below, click the bell icon below so that you get notifications when I upload a new video. And I've also pasted links to my free technique lessons, my free beginner piano lessons as well below this video. I'll see you next time.